All right, so we're continuing our talk on logic. So logic, and in this section, we're going to go over what truth tables are. And we're going to look at truth tables for negations, for conjunctions, and disjunctions. So remember, negations look like this. The little squiggly line. Conjunction means and then disjunction means or. So this is not, this is and, this is or. All right. Oh gosh, it's not working. Oh, there we go. Is a device used to determine when a compound statement is true or false. So if you have a compound statement and you want to determine whether the compound statement itself is true or false, you have to create a truth table. All right, so here is the first example. It says, let P be given as test is today. All right, so case one, there is, let's see. So you would just basically fill out the truth table this way. P can either be true, which means that the negation of true would be false, or P can be false, which means the negation of false is true. It's the opposite. So those are the only two cases. P can either be true or false, which means that the negation of P would have to be false true. All right, so it says here, if P is a true statement, then the negation of P is false. If P is a false statement, then the negation of P is true. All right, so it's just the opposite. Let's see what they say next. If a compound statement consists of two simple statements, P and Q, then there are four possible true-false arguments. Whenever we construct a truth table for a compound statement that consists of two simple statements, we begin by listing the four true-false cases. So there's always going to be four true-false cases whenever you have two statements. So these are the cases. You can either have true-true, you can have true-false, you can have false-true, or you can have false-false. Those are the only four combinations that you can come up with. So that's what they mean when they say four true-false cases. So this will always be the same. Then you can apply that to any given statements. So for example, if P is test is today and Q is the test covers chapter 4, we can look at conjunction of those two statements. We can look at disjunction of those two statements to determine whether those two statements are true or false. So let's see. Let's go to example 2. Actually, let's just create another. Well, no, that's okay. We're going to get to that in the next example. All right, here we go. Let P be the carpet is delivered on Thursday, and Q be the statement the function is delivered on Friday. The furniture is delivered on Friday. Sales person's promise. The carpet is delivered on Thursday and the furniture is delivered on Friday. So that's the promise. Keyword is and, which is a conjunction. All right, so what is this? Is this P or Q right here?
P.
That's a P.
P. Yes. All right, so that would be P. I'll write the conjunction on the bottom. And then this is
Q.
Q.
Q. All right, so we want to see if that's true or false. So P and Q. All right, so let's list out the four cases. Remember, there's four cases. The four cases are true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. All right, so if you have a T and T, what the and means, it means that in order for that to be true, that means they both have to be true, because the word and means that this one has to be true and this one has to be true. So for this, T and T is true because they're both true. So that is T. For the next one, you have T and F. So true and false. What do you guys think? Is that going to be false overall or true overall? In
It's
order
gonna
for
be false overall because both of the statements are true.
yeah, both of the statements have to be true in order for the conjunction to be true. You're right. So overall, true and false means false because one of them is false, where they both have to be true.
Okay.
All right, this one would be false and
False.
true. That's also false, right? Because they both have to be true. And then the last one is false and false. So that is also false because they both have to be true in order for the conjunction to be true. So that's pretty much it for this one. So this statement, because it's P and Q, that would be, okay, so yeah, that would be true because this is P, that's true and that's true. It doesn't say not. Oh, I'm sorry, no. If this is true and this is true, then the entire statement is true. So if this is true and if this is true, then this will be true. But if this is true and this is false, then this is false, right?
Right.
And same thing, if this is false and this is true, then this is also false. And lastly, if this is false, then this is false. All
False.
right.
Okay.
So the important thing to note here is that that P and Q is true only when P is true and Q is true. Yeah, that's what I would write in that little box. That's the important takeaway. All right. So let's look at this next example. It says, construct a truth table for Jose is an artist and Jose is not a musician. So we have to define P and Q. So let's say P. What do you guys think P should be?
Jose is an artist.
Yeah, Jose is an artist. And what do you think Q should be?
Jose is not a musician, but it's gonna be squiggly line Q, right? Because it says not.
Yeah, so I would say let's make Q Jose is a musician, and then we can make it not by making the squiggly line in front of it. Yeah, so let's do that. Musician.
Is that
All
a,
right.
the first one? That's a P. Okay. Look like you wrote a Q.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is a Q. Thanks. I meant to write a P. Thanks. All right, so this is an and. So I'm just gonna highlight the keywords. Keyword, keyword. All right, so now we can write this as, so I think you said it, Tori, right? It's P
P
and
Squiggly line Q.
line Q.
squiggly line Q because of the not, right? All right, so that's what we're looking for. We're gonna see if, when is this true? All right, let me make that nicer looking Q. That's not that nice. All right, so here are the four cases: true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. All right, so for the first one, you're gonna have P, which is true, and not Q. What would not Q be? True or false?
It's false. That'd be wait a minute.
Wouldn't that be true because it's a true statement that he is an artist, but he's not a musician?
He's not a musician.
Oh,
It doesn't make it false. That makes it it's still true, right?
we're just looking at this. We're just looking, yeah, you kind of want to ignore all this for now. You just
Oh,
kind of,
okay.
you're just kind of focused on this right here.
Okay,
So,
well then it's false.
yeah, it's gonna be false because if Q is true, then not Q would be false. So we have, in this case, we have true and false, which is, what do you think that is?
Makes it false.
That's gonna make it False, yeah, that's gonna be false, because remember, in order for it to be true, they
Has to be
both have to be true. They both have to be true. All right, over here, you're gonna have P and not Q. What would not Q be in this case?
False.
Mhm.
Well, it's
True.
already false, but if you negate it,
It's gonna be true.
yeah, you take the up, whenever you see a squiggly line, you do the opposite of what it is. So it's gonna be true and true. So in this case, it's true, right? Because true and true make it true.
So whenever you have a squiggly line, you negate it and it turns it to the opposite.
Yeah, exactly right. You just make it opposite. So for the next case, you're gonna have false. And what's not Q in this one?
False.
False, yeah, false and false, which is false, right? And then for the last one, you have P and not Q.
That'd be true.
That would be true. And what is that overall? That would be
False.
false. All right. So the only time this statement would be true is when
True. Or-
P is true and
Okay.
Q is false. So the only time it'd be true is if Jose is an artist and Jose is not a musician, because it says false here, so you'd have to negate it. Yeah, so this is the only time it would be true.
Okay.
So it would be for when P is true and Q is false. So Jose has to be an artist, but Jose is not a musician. That's when this statement would be true. So even if it doesn't really make sense in English, logically, in the world of logic, this is a true statement. So it's a little strange, but that's the way it works. Let's look at this one.
That'd be a true statement. Even if oh,
Yeah, actually, this is a true statement right here.
even because you negated. Okay, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, because the only time it's true is when P is true and Q is false. And this is, so if Jose is an artist,
Mhm.
Jose is not a musician,
Mm,
then the statement is true.
True.
Yeah. All right, let's look at this one. Construct a truth table for Jose is not an artist and Jose is not a musician. So what would the symbols be for this one?
Squiggly line Q, with the arrowhead, squiggly line P. Well, squiggly line P, squiggly line Q.
Oh, is it artist or musician goes first? Artist or musician?
Artist.
Artist and musician.
And
Oh, PQ,
Line P.
not,
squiggly Q.
yeah, so it'd be not P and not Q, right? So not P, not Q. Okay, so same thing, you just do true, 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 false, false, true, false, false, and then you do the same thing. So if you negate P, what do you get here?
False.
False. And if you negate Q,
False.
false and false is false, right?
Mhm.
That's a false. All right, and then if you negate P here and negate Q, you get?
You're gonna get true, false, but it's gonna, you get false, true, but it's still gonna equal out to being false.
Yeah, you'll get false, true, and that is still false. And then if you do the next one, you're gonna get negate, negate,
True, false.
true, false, which is still false, right?
False.
And then the last one is gonna be negate, negate.
True.
That one will be true, right? All right. So the only time that this statement would be true is when this is false and this is false. So when Jose is not an artist and Jose is not a musician, that's when this statement is true. All right. Let's look at this one. So you got two statements again. A requirement for a job is a 2-year college degree, and a requirement for a job is 5 years of related experience. Job requirement is a 2-year college degree or 5 years of related experience. So what would you write for the symbols for this one? That would be
P, with the V and then a Q.
yeah, Q.
So P and Q.
So P or Q. So this is all right. So let's fill out the truth table. True, 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 false, false, true, false, false. All right, so for the first one, it's going to be true or true. So for the word or means only one of them has to be true in order for the overall statement to be true. So in this case, true or true would be
True.
true. You only need one true. You don't need two of them, but if you have two, that's fine too. All right, the next one would be true or false. What do you guys think? Is that going to be true or false overall?
False.
If it would have been an and, that means they both have to be true. But if it's an or, only one of them has to be true for the whole statement to be true. So
That one's true.
it's going to be true because at least one of them is true. That's what the word or means. This one or that one has to be true in order for the statement to be true.
Okay.
So same thing with the next one. False or true would be
True.
True.
true. And then the last one, false or false.
It's false.
That one is false because none of them are true, so therefore it's false. So the important thing to note is P or Q is true, is always true except for is true when you have at least one true. When you have at least one true. So yeah, all you need is one. So one there, and this one, they're both false. All right, so now we should be able to do this next problem. All right, so we want to know when is this true? So it would be true for, so you always fill out the truth table the same way. Over here, the cases are true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. Then you have to go through all these and you have to negate, and then you have to determine whether the overall statement is true or false. So let's do this one. What would the not P be in this case for the first case?
Be,
True.
Well, you have to negate it, right?
false. Yeah.
Yes, it would be false, or Q would be that one.
True.
Don't negate that one. So overall, would this be a true or false statement overall?
True.
It'd be true because it's an or, and for or you only need one true. So this would be true. All right, the next one is going to be, so negate the first one, but keep the second one the same. So false or false?
False.
Yes, false.
False.
The next one, we're only negating the first one. So that would be true or true.
True.
True or true is true, right? And then the last one is if you negate the first one, you get true,
True.
or false is true because you have at least one true. All right, and then this part's kind of easy because it's the same thing. The only thing that you're doing is what are you doing to this? You're negating it. See how it's, this one is the same as that? The only difference is that they have the negation in the front. So basically you just change these to the opposites. So if you negate that, you get false.
False.
If you get negate false, you get true. The next ones are false, false. So you just change these to be the opposite because of the negation in the front. All right, so the only time this statement would be true is if P is true and Q is false. All right, so that's how that works. Why don't I give you guys a little bit of time to see if you guys can do number 6 with just like with each other. So I'm gonna put maybe just 2 breakout rooms and then you see if you guys can do number 6, fill out the entire table. So
Break the letters.
yeah, I think it's better. Yeah, I think we need to fill in the, like, kind of write in the letters here, and then do the or, and then write what it's equal to. That might be helpful. So let's just go
Yeah.
through this. So we'll do true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. That's always the same, by the way. This will never change. That will always stay the same. So
Okay.
now we can do this. So maybe it's helpful if you just do one thing at a time. So let's do
Yeah.
just
Down.
this.
Yeah.
So what would be the not P for the first one?
False.
False.
Yeah, you just change that to the opposite. So false, and then for the next one, it would be,
True.
or you have to
Oh.
make it
No, it'd be false.
false, and then for the next one,
True.
that would be true. And then for the next one, true again, right? You just do opposite. And then you just bring that down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. And then the Q's, notice you don't negate it. You just keep it the same.
The same.
So
Okay.
that's just going to be T, F, T, F. And then we can do the equal part. So remember for and, these are ands. Do you guys remember when is it true? Only when it's
when they're both the same.
when they both have to be true, right?
Yeah.
So this would be the only one that's true because it's true and true.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them are going to be false.
Or false.
False, false, false.
Could you say that again? You said when it's and they're both the same.
Yeah, for and, if you go back here, oh yeah, so for and, the only time it's true, it's only true when both P is true and Q is true. So they both have to be true.
Are you recording, Mr. Ornelas?
Yeah, it's being recorded.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the and, it's only true if they're both T's. Otherwise, if it's T and F, or F and T, or F and F, it's going to be false. So for ands, they both have to be true. So over here, since we have an and, they both have to be true for this to be true. But that's false, so that therefore this is going to be false.
False.
This one's, they're both false, so that means it's going to be false. This
False.
one, they're both true, so that's true. This one of them is false, so that means overall it's false.
False.
Okay. I got that far.
Okay.
Good. All right, and now this is just the same thing as this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all we have to do is rewrite that here. So F, F, T, F, basically just copy and paste that over. And then you have to do the ors. So now it's an or,
No, it's the opposite.
and then P is gonna be, we just copy and paste this one, right? That one doesn't change. All right, so that's gonna be T,
Okay.
T, false, false. We just took all the P values and put them here.
Okay.
And now we do the equals, and then this is an or. Do you guys remember when is it true for or?
When either one of them is true.
Yeah, P or Q is true when you have at least one true. You don't need both of them to be true, you only need at least one. So in this case, would this be true or false?
True.
True, because at least one of them is true. And then for the next one,
True.
true again. And then the next one,
True.
true. And
False.
then the last one is
It's false.
Yeah, that one's false because both of them are false. So this is your final answer?
Okay, I got it now. Okay.
All right.
Okay, write that down.
Yeah, no problem. Write that down. So,
I just didn't know how to get to
The last, yeah.
this is one of those things that you have to write out. You can't try to like figure it out in your head. And now I know how to write it. So yeah, let me get this.
yeah.
Ms. Ornelas,
Uh-huh.
on the last part on example 6, where it says, see
Yeah.
you in the tutoring.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. All right, so here we go. Determine the truth value for each simple statement. Then determine the truth value of the compound statement. So let's look at the first one. Determine true, false for each statement. Insert those values and determine the final value of true, false according to the rules from before. All right, so let's look at P. This is our P, right? So P would be the first one. 18 divided by 3 equals 9. What do you guys think? Is that true or false?
That's false.
False.
That's false. 18 divided by 3 is 6, so that would be a false. All right, now let's look at the Q statement, which is 56 divided by 8 is 7. Would that be true or false?
That's true.
That is true. All right, so the statement that they want us to look at is the OR statement. So we'll write OR. So this is going to be P or Q.
P or Q.
All right, so determine true, false. Okay, so now we have to find whether this statement is true or false. So we have to construct a T table. So I'm sorry, truth table. So true, wait, and let's do it this way. It's not a rectangle. Okay, so we got and then there's 4 cases, right? Case 1, case 2, case 3, and 4. All right, so the cases are true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. All right. But actually, we're only concerned with one of the
I
cases.
thought you said the first row, the true, false, stays the same.
Yeah, you're right. True, 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 false, false, true, false, false. That stays the same, but I misread this. They only want us to determine
With
this,
the division problems.
the F and the T, because P is false, we said, right?
Yeah.
P is
Right.
false, and Q is true. So
So
we
the answer would be F. I mean, the answer would be P, if you
yes.
will.
So we're only concerned with this one, right? We don't really care about these. We only
Yeah, so
care
you're
about,
merely just doing the math and then answering the question.
yeah, exactly. So it's false or true. So what is false or true? Is that true or false?
P is false and Q is true.
Yeah, but the overall statement would be
True, because one is false and one is true. So the overall statement is true.
True.
is true. Yeah, you're right. Because it's an or, we only need one true for the statement to be true. So you're right. So this is a true statement. So as strange as this is a true statement, believe it or not. If someone were to say to you, 18 divided by 3 is equal to 9, or 56 divided by 8 is equal to 7, and they asked you to determine whether that was a true or false statement, you would say true. That's a true statement.
Okay.
So that's the way it kind of works. It's a little bit strange, but the word or, that means only one of them has to be true. And this one is true. So therefore, overall, the statement is true. All right, let's look at the next one. What do you guys, so P is 17 greater than or equal to 17. Is that true or false?
That's false, because 17 is not greater than 17, it's just equal to it.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah,
It's
but
equal to or actually less, well, equal to, just equal to it.
yeah, so greater than or equal to means or, so that means, yeah, this is true because it only has to be either greater or equal to, and since it's equal to, then it's true. And then the other one, what about the other one? Is that true or false? Is -3 bigger than -2 or smaller?
Smaller.
Smaller.
Smaller, so this is false.
False.
All right, so, and then
So
this is,
overall, that would make this statement false because it's and. So they
You got
both
it.
have to be true.
yeah, you're right. So this is a true statement. This is a false statement. And because it's an and, that means they both have to be true in order for the statement to be true, but that's one of them is false. So we say that it is false. So this one's going to be, I should have said, this one is false. The final answer is false for the first one, and for this one, oh, I'm sorry, the final answer was true for this one, right?
No, yeah.
And for this one, the final answer is false. Because of the word and means they both have to be true in order for this to be true, which it's not. This one, only one of them has to be true, which it is. All right, so this statement would be a false statement. All right, so you really didn't need to construct a truth table. I just did it because I thought we had to do all 4 cases, but they only wanted that specific case of when this is false and this is true. All right, that was it. Actually, oh wow, I didn't know we were done already. All right, let's see. There is a little bit of time left. Well, why don't we take a break and then